Hi, I'm Alexis,
And I'm Diamond.
and you're probably here because you want to know how to make a long distance relationship work.
Well, we've been in a relationship for 12 years,
5 of those years were long distance,
so we definitely know a thing or two about being in a long distance relationship and how to make it work.
right? One of the first tips I want to give you is having that desire for one another. Definitely wanting to be with them and knowing that there is no one else in the world that you'd rather be with, no matter how far away they have to be from you.
Yeah, definitely the desire part. You don't want to get trapped where you get into a long distance relationship just because you don't want to break up. When that decision come forth, you need to make sure that you actually want to be in a long distance relationship and also that you see an end. So you definitely need a desire to be in a long distance relationship if you want it to be successful and want it to, have a happy ending.
Right, because long distance relationship don't have to last forever. So I like when you say that you have to see an end for it, just means you're not having a long distance relationship forever. Um, Also, communication is highly on the list of things that you need to have in your repertoire in order to be successful in a long distance relationship. Being able to use different devices of communication, as far as cell phones, texting, Skype, FaceTime, Snapchat, whatever you can, so you can see each other and communicate with one another to share about how your day is going or exciting news or just to make sure that you are still compatible and find those different things you like to talk about.
Yeah, and also, I mean, since you're in that long distance relationship and you don't have, the luxury of just going over to a person's house or seeing them when you get off work, then having that communication is going to be, like you said, it's going to be paramount. And using all the technology that we have available today, I mean, it's you have limitless ways to, stay in touch with someone. 12 years ago when we first got together, we didn't have, Snapchat and all this other stuff. So we was just stuck to just a regular, house phone, cell phone, kind of deal, flip phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I still have letters that, we wrote
Oh
back and
yeah.
forth. So, with all the technology, that's great. But, don't forget about, the old tried and true method of a pen and paper, an envelope, and a stamp.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that allow you to say things uh, in a way that you wouldn't be able to express them verbally. So communication is definitely important, and you have to get creative with the ways you communicate, so that everything stays fresh and that you stay a part of each other's lives.
Most definitely. Um, let's see. Another tip I would say is trust. You definitely have to have that trust established in your relationship because if you don't, you're gonna have a wandering mind and you're gonna be like, oh, this person's cheating on me, or he's probably talking to this person and that person, when that probably isn't the case. Most likely isn't if they committed themselves to be with you. And most of all, you have to have that trust in your relationship so it doesn't ruin your relationship.
Right. And definitely, when you're thinking about it, I mean, I'll be honest, most long distance relationships, I mean, they don't normally work. That's why, most people, they say they just don't work. You shouldn't even try them. So when you go into a long distance relationship, I mean, your family, your friends, they may love you to death, but you better believe that somewhere along the line, they're thinking, oh, this is not gonna work out. So
Mm-hmm.
with that, that's where that trust is gonna come in because you have to have 100% confidence and trust in your partner that they're going to be doing the right things so that your mind don't get to wondering.
Right.
And also with that, you want to make sure that you're not letting other people's thoughts get into your mind and
Right.
letting that show up in your relationship. I know for me, when we were in a long distance relationship, nobody could tell me anything, about what she was doing because I knew what she was doing because that's what she told me, and I had that 100% trust in her, and she never gave me a reason to doubt it. So therefore, she had all my trust, and that definitely I think was a contributing factor, a big contributing factor. I mean, shoot, we probably should have made that number one. Uh, that was definitely a contributing factor to our successful long distance relationship.
Yeah.
So, what else would you say?
Just like we mentioned earlier, there has to be an end date, but sometimes you can't always have a definite end date. But you have to make time to see one another as much as you can. I know work or school may get in the way from time to time, but whenever you have the leisure of taking a vacation from work or having a spring break during school time, spend that time with your significant other. Make sure that you reconnect at one point or another. And I think that's really critical because at certain times you like, it's cool to talk on the phone, it's cool to read these texts, and it's fun seeing these Snapchats, but I'd rather be touching you. I'd rather be holding you.
Yeah,
Because a
yeah.
long distance relationship is not easy.
Right. And I can't even count the number of times I got in the car. I mean, I was just going across town, and next thing you know, I was on the highway, making that 6 hour drive. There was countless times where, I had to make unplanned trips where it'll be a Thursday or Friday, and it's like, oh, can you come see me for the weekend? And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, so you want to make sure that you're in a position where you can do that. And we was lucky enough for it to just be a 6 hour drive. But I mean, sometimes you may be 6 hours. It might be a 6 hour flight, or just the distance. And, you just don't know how far it is. At least I don't know how
Right.
far your distance is. But the point being is that in order to really make that long distance relationship flourish, you have to have the ability to go and see each other, and on a regular basis. I mean, not saying you drop everything on the weekend, every weekend,
Right.
but you want to be able to see them on some type of regular basis, and those sporadic trips is definitely, I think, a little spice. So
Yeah.
and I know people. It might be hard for some people to make those type of trips just financially. So I have a link below that you can click and check out, find a way to make some extra cash if you're interested in making some extra cash and being able to make those trips happen. But beyond that, what else would you
Beyond that, I would say again that was desire, communication,
trust?
trust,
Right.
being able to see one another, and ultimately just being compatible with one another because you want to make it fun. You don't want this to be like, oh god, I gotta make sure I call oh dude. You don't want it to die down. So definitely have that compatibility with one another. So you like different stuff. We used to have date nights on the phone,
Right.
where we would like watch the same movie at the same time, or we would eat dinner on the phone
Yeah,
together.
I know.
We used to take naps on the phone together.
Right. Yeah. I mean, all that. And
So,
one thing, I mean, going back to the communication thing is time. We talked about it a little bit, but when you're in a long distance relationship, time is like of
yeah.
essence, because when the person's not like right there, like they're not like this close to you, it's so easy for a phone to ring and you to not get to it and look at it and say, oh, I'll get back, or not respond to a text. And it's a lot different when you're in that long distance relationship versus right here. So you have to make time, because it's easy to get just caught up in your life. I mean, it's not that you're doing it on purpose, but you got work. Maybe you like, we had school, work. You have all these things going on. Then you got a social life here, and they have a social life, and those times may not coincide with each other. So making time, I mean, I think that's going to be also,
Yeah.
I mean, really, really high.
Yeah.
Just to be able to use those forms of communication that we was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So, and talking about having an end date. When you go into a long distance relationship, you may not know exactly when. I mean, I know when we started our relationship, we had no idea what the end date was going to be, but we definitely knew what the end result was going to be. So we didn't have a time frame, but we knew what we wanted, and that was, we wanted to be together. And I mean, 12 years after the fact, I mean, here we are.
Happily married, and I tell you, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I really think putting in that effort and going through a long distance relationship, to finally be with somebody that I truly desired, someone that I felt like was the man of my dreams and my true soulmate, it was well worth having a long distance relationship with, because we've had 7 years of a happy marriage thus far, and I believe having a long distance relationship actually helped us
I agree.
to be more open with one
Yeah, I
another and to
agree.
communicate with each other. It's not like I don't know, like I don't know how to talk to him about this because we talked about everything, you know.
Right.
So I definitely think it has definitely helped our relationship for the betterment and for the long run.
Right. And you know the best thing about ending that long distance relationship and then finally uniting is that at that moment it's like you have a whole new relationship. It's like
Yes.
it's fresh. It's like you just started all over with somebody. I mean, you know them, but now that you're united, you get to learn and know them in just a totally different way, which was like a totally new chapter in our life.
Hmm.
So it's definitely something to look forward to. So I mean, I hope you found this video, helpful.
Yes.
I hope it answered your questions. I hope, our advice from, going through it and experiencing it, I hope it, help other people. Um, so if you like this video, I would say go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Click the like button below. I mean,
Below.
below, and just go ahead and any follow-up questions, just put them in a comment, and we'll shoot back an answer to you.
So good luck on your new long distance relationship.
All right.